Mandela was locked up for nearly 3 decades. He spent most of that time doing hard labor on Robben Island, a prison off the coast of Cape Town. And as CCTV's Travers reports, despite the harsh conditions, Mandela never wavered in his struggle against apartheid.
Robben Island, once a symbol of brutal oppression, now a tourist haven as visitors pay homage to struggle icons like former South African President Nelson Mandela. During the peak of South Africa's anti-apartheid uprising, Mr. Mandela, along with other co-accused of the infamous Rivonia trial, were kept incarcerated here after life terms were handed down to them. The aim was to break the resilience of the movement by subjecting its leaders to inhumane and unethical practices through racially suppressive incarceration.
You know, when I arrived in Robben Island that year, it was late 1978. I was 18 years old. Mandela was 60 years old at that time. And they told us we're going to meet the biggest criminals in the history of South Africa. So I met those criminals. They slept on 2 mats, 3 blankets. And later I found out it was not the real criminals we was thought we were going to look after. I looked for the criminal element into them. I didn't see any tattoos on them or tattoos on their faces. And so I asked the sergeant, what is these criminals in for? He told me that's a terrorist to try to overthrow our country. That's a people who kill our children on the border. And then from that occasion, I was supposed to hate them, but we became later very good friends.
Mr. Mandela, or Madiba as is fondly known in South Africa, was kept in political isolation and often in the most inhumane conditions. For the next 18 years, he was confined to a tiny cell with no bed and no toilet.
Now this is the cell of Mr. Mandela. He spent 18 years in the cell. After 18 years, 5 of the 7 of us of the Rivonia trial were transferred to Polsmore prison. But for 18 years he was in this cell until 1982.
Authorities often tried in vain to break the resilience of Mr. Mandela by offering him a relief to his self-sacrification, but this was to no avail.
The authorities, the jailers, offered Mr. Mandela exemption from work. He refused. They offered him special food like we were getting. He refused. He said, and our leadership also did the same, you know. They all refused preferential treatment. Their attitude was, if you apply this to everybody, we will accept it, but not before.
After 18 years on the island, Mr. Mandela was transferred from Robben Island, and such was the man that his unique persona left a lasting impression.
When Mandela was being released, I said I was very happy and proud. But the day when he was released, it was also empty in myself. It feels if I lose a family member, because we become very close at the end.
After Robben Island, Mr. Mandela was transferred to Polsmore and Victor Verster prisons, where the former apartheid government started secret negotiations with the ANC leader for the release of all political prisoners. In 1994, after spending 27 years in jail for his anti-apartheid activities, Mr. Mandela became the first fully democratically elected president in the country's history. Former South African President Mr. Nelson Mandela spent a total of 18 years right here on Robben Island, along with members of other banned anti-apartheid organizations. Their lengthy incarceration paved the way for South Africa's first democratically held elections. Travers, CCTV, Cape Town.